Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Timesphere podcast, where we have timely conversations that are hardly ever on time. This is a special episode. This is actually the first special episode that I've done with you, Scott. I've done a couple
Hmm.
of the bonus episodes that we publish on Saturdays. Obviously, normal publish date for everybody listening and watching is Tuesdays. That's kind of Timesphere Day in our shared households here. That's where we aim for. Feel like that's a good date. But sometimes there's topical stuff for specific conversations that we want to have that are going to go up on Saturdays or embargo times. Obviously, I take that back. We did do the Rogue Ally review.
We
That was
did.
technically a bonus episode. That was just on like a Thursday because of the embargo. So you'll see stuff like this start popping up more frequently now that Scott and I think we've been going for 2 months now,
I think
consistently,
so.
2 straight months.
Yeah.
That's better than our
It,
last track record of one episode, two lost episodes that are in the ether somewhere, and then two episodes before
mhm.
we got too busy.
Yeah, it's I guess I guess what you're saying is I'm not special. I'm not doing any of the special episodes, which
No,
is
no, no,
a
no. I
little
would
a
never
little
say that,
hurtful.
Scott.
I mean, looking at how I butchered the Wordle today, I think it might be true. I had it to green, 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 one missing letter, green. It's one of the and then it's one of those words where it's like it could be like 5 or 6 or 7 different letters, and I got 5 straight incorrect guesses.
See,
And
here's the
and
deal,
missed.
Scott. I'm a big puzzle game guy. Obviously, I like puzzle games. Not a big Wordle guy, but I will say, and I'm do you know what got announced yesterday that had me incredibly hype,
What's that?
unreasonably hype? I'm a big Picross guy. Love Picross. Play a lot of Picross. Been playing Mario Picross for the Game Boy on Switch because they have that on the Virtual Console. They announced,
What do you think? Pick Ross?
yeah, Picross, Picross. It's like kind of like a Sudoku but for images.
Okay.
So like you
I
like,
typed in the word pick and Ross, like the
yeah,
name Ross, and they're like, "Did you mean Rick Ross?" Like, is
yeah, obviously Rick Ross, yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah, so they announced yesterday that they're doing the two more collaboration games, which they do every once in a while, and they're doing it with Capcom. It's going to be a Capcom Classics and an SNK Classics, which is
Okay.
usually they have like a bunch of different modes where you are doing the Picross and the images or the stuff you get as hints and everything are Capcom themed, usually like classic games, art and characters. Very fun. I love Picross. But we're not here to talk about. Well, I guess we kind of are going to talk about the future of games a little bit or upcoming releases just a tiny bit. But yeah, so the reason we're recording this is because this is Game Award season. They announced the nominees late last week, I want to say, or was it no early this week? Today's Thursday. I'm stupid. My brain is all over the place. Announced it earlier this week, so we now know the nominations for everything but player's choice, player's voice, whatever
Yep.
that one is called
We
now.
get that first
Yep,
day of
1st of
December, I
December,
believe.
kind of when the first round of voting is done. So
Hmm.
if you don't know how the Game Awards works, it is I have it pulled up here, and we'll kind of get into the specifics towards the end of the show about how games are uh handled in a
Hmm.
way. So essentially, they have a panel of specific, uh, not just journalistic outlets and not
Hmm.
just media outlets, but it's a mix of journalists, games media, like content creators, and usually
Hmm.
groups of games media content creators, not just solo ones.
Yeah.
Uh,
So it's as they say by their own words, a jury of over 100 global media influencer
yes,
outlets, and it's a mix between some of your more bigger names in gaming, so your Game Informer, your GamesBeat, GameSpot, IGN, Polygon, so your more traditional big outlets. It also includes a number of independent outlets that we have highlighted here several times. Kind of funny, MinMax, Giant Bomb, Jeff Gerstmann Show, and then there's a number of this is just in the U.S. There's outlets all across the world, but there's also a number of sort of more mainstream and entertainment focused outlets as well. Variety, The Atlantic, Entertainment Weekly, and sadly no dot. Damn,
yeah. I
just
literally have a note on that. We'll talk about that when we get to like some specifics later. But I did want to highlight this that it is 90% jury voted, 10% fan voted. They've been very clear about that for a while now, outside of player choice. So our goal here, we're just going to run through each of the categories, starting at the back end, which is obviously the esports stuff because the Game Awards does not care about esports. Most gaming audience does not care about esports, as we've the two of us have known for a decade
Yes,
plus now.
it is. it is usually like lumped together during the pre-show. It's
Yeah.
like, and now the esports awards, and they literally just run through it in like 3 minutes,
Sonic
no
Fox
break.
got on the stage once, dominated the conversation, and then they said, "We can't have that again. That's bad for
Yeah.
advertising."
We need the voice of Kratos to talk for more another 10 minutes. That's too much.
Yeah, yeah. I will say, I can't remember his name. The creative director for Baldur's Gate 3, his speech last
Mhm.
year did a lot to predict this year in terms
Yeah.
of like nominees. So we'll probably get into that.
Sven, I believe
Yeah, Sven. Yep.
yes, Sven from Larian Studios.
Yes.
Really just kind of we can revisit it later on, but yeah,
Yeah, we'll talk
he
about
had a
it.
good
We're just
one.
gonna get rolling. This is gonna be just conversational. I've
Yeah.
seen the nominations. I haven't gone back and looked, so I haven't really deep dove into this. I try to stay off of social media a lot these days.
Hmm.
So I haven't been like diving into discourse other than like a couple specific things. So we'll start with best esports team. I'm not gonna read the descriptions. This is Gen G for League of Legends, NRG for Valorant, Team Falcons for Dota, Team Liquid PH for
Philippines.
Legends Bang Bang. Yeah. Oh, Philippines. I'm stupid.
Yep.
And then Team Vitality for Counter Strike 2. So
Hmm.
this is a widespread. Well, we can actually talk to this with a little bit of uh,
Hmm.
insider knowledge, I guess, because we voted on this for what 3 years, something
Yeah.
like that. So for reference, I'll move this up the show docket. So for 3-ish years, Dot Esports, where Scott and I both worked together, was a panelist on the Game Awards. However, we only voted for the competitive elements of the show. So we only voted for the esports slash like content stuff, not the game of the year or anything. So some of these publications that you see on the Game Awards pages might not vote for everything or nominate for everything. So, but they do. They will have some aspect of the show that they're specialized in. So some of those entertainment outlets might not have the gaming section, but they might vote on like best adaptation or something. Now that that's a thing, so just keep that in mind when you're kind of looking things over. Not everybody will like necessarily votes on everything. Although I assume if you get a big ballot like IGN or whatever,
Mm.
you vote on everything. Obviously, you can abstain. I know a lot of places abstain from voting for the esports awards section of this, just
Because
because they're not.
they don't know and they don't want to just randomly throw
Yeah,
a dart.
exactly. So, um, obviously, I'm biased to Dota.
They should do what my girlfriend does when she gets this section. She goes, "Okay, who am I voting for in the esports section?"
Ask,
And I
yeah.
give her my answers.
I mean, I remember Rachel, like, and some of the other editors would be like, "Hey, can we get?" And they would specifically reach out to people in like the not league section, and be like,
Hmm.
"Hey, can you like kind of skew your votes a little bit towards outside of league since you don't watch league, so we can like get a better skew of like everybody that's going."
Yeah.
Bink would always message me and be like, "Yo, like this is
Can you vote for the COD stuff?
yeah, hey, like, or he'd be like, "Hey, I know this FGC person had like a really big year. Is this a good person to put on my list? Because I
Mm.
want to put a full 5. Because
Yeah.
we usually did a maximum of 5 per person nominations.
Didn't the esports section used to be bigger? I know, like, okay, so we just had the esports
We'll
awards,
go through it. I think there was
but
another
I
couple.
thought it was like best controller player, best like PC
I
player,
think that's
but
just esports awards,
I okay, yeah, I thought it was
which
bigger,
also
but I guess
just
it
I also did not know
just
that just
finished.
happened.
Completely forgot
So,
it
and
happened.
we're not gonna even touch on that. Like, but that just happened. I completely forgot
I will
until you
say
brought it up.
I did say that Mimi or Evil Cat did get best analyst. She's like a terrific Valorant analyst. That was well deserved. So I'm happy
The only
they
new
gave it up.
esports thing that I saw was Dignitas joined Pokemon Unite, and I was like, "That's okay. That was not on my bingo card. Sure, why not?"
In the year 2025.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I
Yeah.
see. Again, I'm biased towards Dota here. Falcons had an incredible run. Obviously,
Hmm.
Crit finally getting his TI after playing for decade plus and like going from Europe to NA to Europe again. Like that's a cool story. I don't think they're gonna win. But there's no T1 here.
Yeah,
Uh,
Genji being here and not T1 is
I
interesting.
wonder where the
Faker
cut.
also not.
I
It has to do with the cutoff because Worlds just
I
finished.
guess, but like last year they didn't Faker and T1 win, and they won Worlds
They
last
did
year. So
they did, but they also won Worlds the year before. So it's like,
I don't know what the cutoff. That one's the weird one that they're
yeah,
not here.
I I think it will come down to either. Well, here's the thing: the international and the Southeast Asia vote might come through, and it could just be a Team Liquid Philippines just
Sure.
landslide. I think realistically it'll come down to between NRG Valorant, who obviously like that's your big like North American
Yeah. Like the
appearance
story.
here.
Yeah.
They had an incredible run through champions, but I think realistically it's going to go to Vitality and Counter Strike. The level of dominance that they showed throughout the first like half of 2025, including which included dominant showing at the Austin major. I think that's just even if the rest of the year has been like not as great. I mean, they set an unrealistic standard. They were literally winning every single match in every single event for like the first 5 months of the year, and they were completely unstoppable. And I think they're taking this, and that's who I voted for.
Yeah.
I just think while Energy is, I love Valorant, and I love the guys in Energy, and Ethan becoming a 2-time champion in Valorant is awesome. I just think Vitality's show over the year was better.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're gonna win it. Just moving quickly to best esports athlete. Also to clarify why some of these categories have 5 and some of them have 6. There's a tiebreaker system that the Game Awards uses to where if there is a tie in terms of nominations, then there can be 6 or even more per a category. So 5 is the minimum, and it will go over depending on ties. Usually you don't see more than 6. So there's going to be 6 here, and that is Brock from Valorant, Chovy, League of Legends, Forsaken, Valorant, Kakaru, Street Fighter, obviously Capcom Cup winner this year or this last year, and also just retired from play. Minardi, Street Fighter, and then Zywoo, Counter Strike. So this is like, I think it's going to be either Chovy or Zywoo, just because that's where the popularity, like you said, Vitality just being so dominant in Counter Strike, and then obviously Chovy being the only League of Legends player here and very name recognizable, that kind of thing. Kakaru and Minardi are going to steal votes from each other. So I don't think.
I think that was my thing. It's like because they're both Street Fighter, they're
Same with Valorant,
gonna
like Brock and Forsaken both being here. I think they're going to steal votes from each other. So I think it's going to go to Chovy or Zywoo.
I think it's going to go Chovy just because as good as Vitality is, I think people owe it to like just an overall team performance as opposed to. I mean, Zywoo's been great, but Zywoo's been great, and there have been years in recent history where he has been like the best player of the year, and he's won HLTV player of the year. I don't think he's quite at that level. Still excellent, still very excellent. I just think because Vitality is doing so well as a team, it's kind of his star is a little less shiny as it once was.
Yeah.
And so I think this will go Chovy.
Yeah.
Of course, I could very easily be wrong about all these.
Yeah, obviously. That's a caveat here. We're just saying our opinion.
I'm leaning toward Chovy.
Best esports game, the same 5 games that are always here: Counter Strike, Dota, League of Legends. Mobile Legends Bang Bang kind of is almost always there, but like that can be rotated out for another big kind of Southeast Asian title, and then Valorant. Man, this one's always a toss up. It's usually League.
Yeah, I need to see who's traditionally won this.
League,
Valorant usually. I feel like a big talking point that I've seen on social media is that Counter Strike, which is objectively the biggest game on Valve, it's like it has like the biggest viewership. It contends with League in terms of viewership. It usually does better than Valorant in viewership. Like, how has this game never won eSport of the year? And so I think maybe because that's competition being had, this is the year to do it.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be CS2 this year.
Especially because I think last year, 2024, was when the when the CS2 change went official? I should know this. I of all people should know when Counter Strike 2 officially launched. I believe it was
out.
It was the start of 2024.
Yeah, it was definitely out before 2024 or before this year.
It was 2023.
Because we started.
September. Yeah, because we were still at that one.
Yeah, late 2023 was when it launched. Because I remember that being a huge deal coverage wise.
Yeah, I remember because it got I remember a week, 2 weeks prior to it launching, I left a little early from I told Dad I was leaving early. And then something big got announced, and then the 2 weeks later, I went out for dinner. Again, I told him I was gonna leave early. Went out to dinner, and I remember driving thinking, something's gonna happen.
Yeah,
something's gonna fucking happen. And then I get the notification on my phone that they were announcing CS2, and I was like, great. And so I'm texting the Australians who were just waking up. I'm like, get on your computers right now.
Yep,
we gotta get this out.
Content creator of the year. I don't know how to pronounce the first one. Is Kadrel,
Cadril,
Kadrel, Kai Cenat, Voice Critical.
big league
Yeah, big
streamer,
league person.
co-streamer.
Okay, that's the only one on here that I don't. Well, obviously, Kai Cenat, Voice Critical. Those are the big names. Soccer
Yeah.
Miko, who I believe is Hololive, a Hololive VTuber. There's
Mhm.
usually a VTuber or some kind of like.
There's always a VTuber in here
Yeah,
now.
and then the Burnt Peanut, which I've seen some clips, and then also apparently when he goes to actual events, he's a very tall man who wears a peanut outfit, which is hilarious. So good on them. I think it's
I've
gonna
been
be
seeing more of him on Twitter because he's embroidered in this faction war in Arc Raiders where all these streamers are divvying up territory on the map. It's all Jake Lucky's been tweeting about for 2 days. So
great.
so,
I'm never on Twitter, so that's good to know, I guess.
Everything I learn about what's going on in Arc Raiders and what Shroud has to say about things, we'll tie into our Game Awards conversation.
Yeah, we'll touch on that.
I'm learning it against my will through Jake Lucky tweets.
Yeah, we'll talk about Shroud in the main episode. So if you're watching this, tune into Tuesday's episode for that. I think it's gonna be Kai Cenat or Moist Critical. Moist Critical kind of dominated the conversation in terms of like, he kind of dominates like the general conversation around streaming because he's very open about streaming stuff, talks about streaming culture. Kai Cenat's just huge, so it's probably gonna be one of them.
And Moist was just in Dispatch, and so maybe this
exactly, yeah.
Like people like, oh yeah, he was in Dispatch.
Okay, and then now we're getting into the actual game categories. Yeah, I do think there was a couple esports categories or competitive categories that have kind of shrunk over the years, but we'll move on. They don't care about that. Neither do our viewers care. Thank you for caring, viewers. Most anticipated game. Obviously, these are all supposed to come out next year. We'll see. 007 First Light, which just had a trailer, new content today, showed off at the Xbox preview. Grand Theft Auto 6, which is going to win this.
I thought I did not watch the Xbox preview. I'm gonna have to.
There's a lot of really cool little stuff. I will say, I went and looked at like a recap, and there's some cool stuff that I'm gonna go watch trailers for later.
Okay. All right.
Especially, I think there's some little updates. They showed that big kind of like action-y, like Devil May Cry looking game that has the girl who voices Shadowheart as the main character, Tides of whatever.
Okay.
That one got a new trailer.
Tides of Dark Eternity or something.
Yeah, like something like that. That looks
Jennifer
really good.
English.
Yes,
is her name.
Yes.
Yeah.
They showed off a new trailer for that. Looks awesome.
Hell yeah.
So 007 First Light, Grand Theft Auto, which is gonna win. Marvel's Wolverine, Resident Evil Requiem, and The Witcher 4. Witcher 4 is the only one that does not have a date, is not slated for next year. This is probably going to be the one that just kind of rolls until it goes, kind of thing, because I don't think it's coming out next year. It's going to be
most anticipated next year.
Exactly. Grand Theft Auto 6
unless there's not a GTA 6.
Yeah, unless there's a GTA 6 delay. Yep. But GTA 6 is going to
win this. I voted for Witcher 4, but yeah, GTA 6.
This is a controversial one. Best adaptation. So this is best creative work that faithfully and authentically adapts a video game to another entertainment. Devil May Cry should not be on this list. I know people liked it. That is not a faithful adaptation of Devil May Cry. Adi Shankar went off is on a high horse right now, talking a whole bunch of stuff I don't agree with. Even though like I've talked to the guy before, and tend to like his creative vision, and I really like the style of the show. I was really excited when they announced it. I was very excited when they announced it. Then he started saying stuff, and then I watched it, and I was like, "This is not the Devil May Cry I like. I love Devil May Cry." So, that should not be on this list. Splinter Cell Deathwatch, dope that it's here. Haven't watched it. Heard good things. Kind of wild that it's here. Last of Us season 2, whatever. I don't really like The Last of Us. I played both games. I think they're really good games. I'm just not a big fan of like that style of stuff. Especially like zombie, like post-apocalyptic stuff isn't my vibe. I've heard not good things about this season. Minecraft movie, sure.
That'll probably win.
Until Dawn. Holy, the fact that that's
I
here.
Heard this was not good.
I've heard this is terrible. So the two things that I've heard have been
something missing.
Two things are missing that people have very adamantly been talking about. First one is the big one, Sonic 3.
Okay. Yeah, that should probably be here.
That definitely should be here. It's the highest rated video game movie of all time right now, in terms of critical stuff. And that was post Game Awards last year. So that should be here, 100%. Especially over Until Dawn. Until Dawn is the one on here that I'm like, that should not be here. And then the other one people are really talking about is Twisted Metal Season 2.
Oh yeah, I've
Uh,
heard this is good. I've heard
I
it's
so
good.
a lot of people say the first season is like good. It's good but not great, and there's like there's some down moments here and there that don't feel awesome. Season 2 I've heard nothing but gas. I've heard great things about season 2, and that's just not getting any recognition whatsoever here or anywhere. So
Do you hear that? Do you hear that, Disney? Do you hear that, Lucasfilm? Why'd you cancel Acolyte season 1? You need 2 seasons. Do you see what happens when you give things a chance?
they're gonna be
You give it room to grow.
they're too busy doing
You
AI, getting ready to
fuckers.
do AI content. I don't care anymore. That's another thing. You just remind me I have to add something to the discussion for the main episode. I'm putting a note at the bottom here. I'll probably just bring it up like briefly at the end of that episode. We'll talk about that there. Yeah, I think Minecraft's gonna win. This is just a messy category.
Yeah, that or Last of Us. That or Last of Us.
Okay, now we're on to best multiplayer. Arc Raiders, Battlefield 6, Elden Ring Night Rain, Peak, or Split Fiction. I feel like Arc Raiders has. I mean, I think this is the only thing it's nominated for, unless sound design is on here, which is.
Yeah.
So Arc Raiders is probably going to win this just because of the hype and kind of like general feel around it. If it doesn't, then
I'd say that or Battlefield because they're both pretty popping up right now. But I feel like the Arc Raiders player base is more willing to, because they feel like I don't want to say they feel disrespected, but there's been a number.
I mean, it won't matter. It's only 10% fan voting, but
That's true. That's true. Yeah, I keep saying like the fan vote. I keep talking about the fan vote.
I think Arc Raiders has a good shot at winning this. If it doesn't win, I think Peak might. Just because I think Peak is like
I voted for Peak because
I'm voting for Peak here. I think it is the purest multiplayer game here.
Mm-hmm.
I think it had the unironically the highest peak in terms of like people talking about a multiplayer game across like different areas of gameplay. So I think it has the widest reach to touch as many people who might not play multiplayer games that are going to be voting on this.
I do want to say I think Split Fiction is excellent.
Yes,
I think it's very fun. My girlfriend
that is on my list to play.
I think my biggest, not my gripe with it, but I think the reason that it probably won't win is because they did this already with It Takes Two, and essentially it's more of It Takes Two, except with more of like the sci-fi with the sci-fi, as you can tell from the graphic art and anything you've heard of it that they split between sci-fi and fantasy to represent the two like characters and their interests. And I think that's again very great, but I just think because it's more of what they've already done, that people could be like, well, I'm not going to give that to it, and so it's going to go to. Honestly, could also go Night Ring. I feel like this one could go a lot.
It's a pretty open category. There's a lot of ways.
This is an open category.
What's not an open category is the dumpster fire that's always best sports and racing game. EA Sports FC. We had this conversation last year where it's like obviously this is a global vote, so
yeah,
it's already going to be divisive just between countries, but also like globally, some games are going to be underrepresented in different countries. So we've got EA Sports FC, 26, F1 25, Mario Kart World Rematch, and Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. I've only played Rematch and Mario Kart World. I want to play Cross Worlds. Because
we didn't play Rematch together. There was like a month where I was really into Rematch.
I tried it when I got the ROG.
I was playing it when it was on when I still had Game Pass, and
it's on because I saw it was on Game Pass, and I was like, I didn't get to try that out. I'll try it out. I liked it. I think this one is going to go to one of the two racing games, one of the two Mario Kart World or Sonic.
Well, three racing games.
Okay, yeah, the ones that matter. Sorry, F1
Whoa,
fans. Sorry, F1
fans. No, the F1 fans.
Oh, you mean the ones that aren't getting a game next year because EA said they're waiting and gonna make it in 2027 or whatever. Give it a year. It's gonna be Mario Kart World or Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. I hope it's Sonic Racing. That'd be very funny if Mario Kart World just gets absolutely dominated in this award show.
Nintendo would be livid.
Yeah, that'd be very funny.
But
honestly,
I think EA Sports FC and Rematch might siphon some votes off of each other.
They will.
They're both soccer games. Yeah.
I just think those racing games.
I voted for Rematch because I had the most. I mean, Mario Kart World I also considered, but I just thought Rematch.
I'm sure if I played Sonic, I'd vote for Sonic, but I'll probably.
Just the idea of like, wait, the Sifu developers made a soccer game.
Yeah, it's dope.
It's fun and it's good.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it the
nod. The next one, best sim/strategy, another category that is a dumpster fire and needs to be split into two different categories. Simulation and strategy are such different things now that they need to be split. Because now we've got Final Fantasy Tactics, The Evil East Chronicles, Jurassic World Evolution 3, Sid Meier's Civilization, is that
7?
7, yeah. My brain just farted. Tempest Rising,
You
the
gotta learn your
altars,
Arabic numerals. Oh, no,
and
that's Greek letters when I say.
okay, now we're both just stupid. And the 2 Point Museum. I think that Jurassic World Evolution 3 had a huge pop from like the hardcore sim people. A lot of people really liked it. I think it's probably going to be Final Fantasy, just because that is going to touch the most people. The altars might get some love here because I don't think it's nominated for a lot else, and a lot of people really liked it, despite the
That's the one I like the most. It doesn't. It's not really like a. I mean, there's like there's like some sim strategy
this
elements to
category
it, but I
means
wouldn't
nothing.
call it a sim strategy.
This category is a mess
I
in
guess
terms
it's
of what gets
technically like a
nominated
life
here.
simulator, but it's also like a survival crafting game. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah,
That's the one I played, so I'm voting for it just because that's the one
I'd vote
I
for
played
Final Fantasy there, but it's just weird. That one
Yeah,
needs to
weird
be
category.
split. There needs to be a couple more categories added just for some
Mm-hmm.
clarifications and what's getting added to these things. Like best family game, that's easy enough to describe. There's Donkey Kong Bonanza, Mario Kart World,
Mm-hmm.
Lego Party, Lego Voyagers, Sonic Racing Cross World, and Split Fiction. I think Donkey Kong's going to take this. It's either going to be Donkey Kong or one of the or Lego Party. I think.
Yeah,
I think Donkey Kong just has the biggest push.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be. I also think it's gonna get a series of votes of people who it's like, well, and we'll get into game of the year category later. People be like, I really like Donkey Kong Bonanza. It's just it's in such a stacked category. Like the game of the year category is so stacked that I cannot, in good conscience, give it to Donkey Kong Bonanza. But at least I can vote for it here and give it something.
Yeah.
So I feel like I think
it's gonna win. That.
Also, I think it deserves it because it's
It
incredibly fun. It's I know I think I talked about this last time I talked about Bonanza, but. When Dan Riker was first describing it on Giant Bomb, he said one thing he talked about was how the amount of time it takes for you to pick up the game and immediately be like, "Oh, this is fun. I want to keep playing this." Is like 2 seconds. Like you smash one thing,
as soon as you get into an open area, yeah.
You smash one thing, you go, "I'm in. I'm in. I'm in."
A great game.
I'm here for the rest of the game. Great game. Great game. Lego Party, also great game.
Now we get into best fighting game, which God, please clean up this category. Jesus.
Go ahead. I know nothing. I'm an outsider.
Okay.
I'm not even rolling down the window. I'm just driving by.
Okay. So we got 2 collections, one Ultimate Edition, and then 2 one not early access game, and then Fatal Fury. So we got
and then Fatal Fury.
Yeah, and so we got 2XKO, Capcom Fighting Collection 2, Fatal Fury City of the Wolves, Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection, and Virtua Fighter 5 Revo World Stage. All of these are okay. 4 of these good games. Mortal Kombat I have not played the collection yet. I've heard mixed things, especially about the online and some of the offerings. I've heard the art part and the new documentary are awesome, but like the gameplay might be a little messy on some of the ports, and like the online has a lot of delay, especially on certain platforms. So like that one I can't really touch on that much. I also don't like Mortal Kombat that much in terms of like overall fighting games. That's not mine. I really liked Capcom Fighting Collection 2. I played quite a bit of City of the Wolves. I actually have an article on City of the Wolves that I think is coming out either right before or right after this gets published. So that talking about Chun-Li and Kin, the design philosophy of Chun-Li and Kin getting brought over as DLC fighters. I really like that. I don't like the Saudi element of it, especially shoehorning in the characters and stuff. 2XKO, I've touched it a little bit since it launched in full. Like it's a good game. I'm just that style of tag fighter is never my favorite game to like super deep dive into. I need to play more of it. I enjoy it. And then Virtua Fighter 5 Revo World Stage, I actually published an article on this talking to both the creative director of the retro or the older Virtua Fighter games, including this, and then the creative director of the new Virtua Fighter project that is going to be whatever Virtua Fighter is with the new game coming out at some point in the future. So I really like Virtua Fighter 5 Revo World Stage. I really like it. I played quite a bit of it, especially trying to get ready for that interview. I really like City of the Wolves, really like 2XKO. The issue here is I think out of these, City of the Wolves deserves it the most because it's not a like it gave people the most content. It gave people you get the full first season of DLC just for buying the game.
Okay, yeah,
but
that's good.
It was very middling received. Like it's a good game. This is a really
Sure.
weird year for fighting games. I'd probably still give
winning
it
by
to,
technicality.
yeah, I'd still give it to City of the Wolves just because I've had the most fun with that game out of all of these this year. But it's not one that I feel like great about. Like you're not having like a Tekken 8 versus a Mortal Kombat 1 versus like or like
Street Fighter 6.
yeah, like Under Night in Birth 2. Like if Under Night in Birth 2
Sure.
was on this list from
Yeah.
2013, no 2014, yeah, because it came out last year. Yeah, I would vote for Under Night here, just because I think that has the most style and substance and depth. But that's beside the point. I would vote for City of the Wolves, but I don't feel like super great about it. Best RPG: Avowed,
Yes.
Clair Obscure Expedition 33, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Monster Hunter Wilds. That's a it's RPG, yes, but I don't know about that one. And then Outer Worlds 2.
Yeah, really solid RPG category.
Very good.
Monster Hunter Wilds,
It's
obviously kind of on the fringe on the RPG, but
yeah, exactly. That's why. Not that it's a bad game. I played a lot of Monster
Yeah.
Hunter. It's just that having that in the RPG category feels weird. So
Yeah.
It's probably going to go to Expedition 33.
Yeah.
Shout out Obsidian for having 2 games here.
I was just gonna say, like, 2
That's
RPGs.
really cool.
I played Avowed. I really enjoyed Avowed. I didn't finish it yet just because it is big. It is.
Yeah.
It
I've heard
requires
it's
a lot
meaty.
of space, but it's a lot to chew on. But I love the companions, especially because one voices Garrus from Mass Effect.
It's just one of those things where it's like Expedition 33 is here and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is here, and both of those are Game of the Year nominees. So
and Outer Worlds 2 is what I'm gonna play next. That's gonna be like my December game.
So it's probably gonna go to Expedition 33. Great category though.
But shout out Obsidian.
Exactly. Best action adventure game. Death Stranding 2, On the Beach, Ghost of Yotei, Hollow Knight Silksong, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, and Split Fiction. I have only played Indiana Jones on this list. Split Fiction I'm going to play before the end of the year, before Game of the Year stuff, so probably before the end of the month. I'm not a Hollow Knight guy.
I played Split Fiction, and I've watched my girlfriend play Ghost of Yotei and Indiana Jones. When my PS5 gets here, I will be playing Ghost of Yotei.
Indiana Jones is like, yes, it's action adventure, heavy on the adventure aspect. So that would be my vote. Obviously, because it's
Indiana Jones. An Indiana Jones game should be heavy on adventure. That's kind of like his thing.
Exactly. I think this one will probably go to either Yotei or Silksong.
Mm-hmm.
I think Yotei might get this one just because I don't know how much else it's going to win, and I think it's very heavy on the action and the adventure element.
Yes.
And Silksong's up for a lot of other stuff, so we'll see. I hate speculating on like, oh, it's going to win this because it's not nominated a lot of other places. I don't like that thought process a lot because that hardly ever works out. But
true.
That is where my thought is.
I think that is going to be the case for, like we said, Bonanza in the family category. I think for here too. And then drastically different from action adventure game is action game.
Yeah, we got Battlefield 6, Doom: The Dark Ages, Hades 2, Ninja Gaiden 4, and Shinobi Art of Vengeance. I wish I had time to play Shinobi Art of Vengeance before the end of the year. That was I was really looking forward to that. I just haven't had time to play it. I love Shinobi. So this is a little weird. I don't think Doom or Battlefield have a shot here.
Battlefield I definitely don't think has a shot just because
I don't think Shinobi. I think it's a Hades 2.
Big multiplayer first person shooter doesn't really, you don't really think action game when you look at it.
Yeah.
I think this is a Hades.
I think Hades 2 is going to win. I think it's between Hades 2 and Ninja Gaiden 4, and I just think Hades 2 is going to win.
I just think because of the anticipation and the quality of the game also as well. It's not just that people were really excited for this one. I almost forgot that, not like, and obviously it's good and it's nominated in it, but I think just because it came out at the beginning of the year, I almost forgot that Doom: The Dark Ages was this year.
A lot of people didn't vibe with it as much as the last two. I've heard it's a good game. It's just not like stand out.
It's not like Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal.
It's not like it didn't hit as hard as those.
Those were excellent. This is probably good too. I didn't play it, but I think it's gonna be Hades 2.
Yeah,
that one I feel pretty confident.
Now we get into best VR AR, which I've heard is another kind of controversial category. I haven't played any of these.
No.
The Midnight Walk is the most interesting one of these to me. Geo over at Polygon has an amazing Deadpool review. That review is one of the best reviews I've read in years. So if you want to read a good review, go read Geo's Deadpool review at Polygon. It's really good. But yeah, I'm gonna abstain from this. I don't really have a horse in this one.
Yeah, same.
What I do have a horse in, and that was an unintentional segue because we're going to mobile games now. We got Destiny Rising, Persona 5, The Phantom X, Sonic Rumble, Wuthering Waves, Uma Musume Pretty Derby. We all know what's winning. We all know what we're voting for.
Wuthering Waves could make. I feel like
it's
could
between
give
those
a
two.
run.
It's between Wuthering Waves and Uma Musume for sure.
No, but listen, Uma Musume, they've got straightaway acceleration. They've got their late surger, S tier. They've got all the stats. They get the perfect.
They got the anime fans, the gacha fans, the people who just got on because of the hype and the streamers, and then they also have they also have just like a general crossover with a lot of people who play these other gacha games too. So that one has 4 things. Wuthering Waves is just like in the general gacha space.
Yeah. And
gacha
especially because the second for global, the second career path finally just came out within the last couple of weeks, and so it's kind of brought maybe a few people who were like, oh, so like a new way to do your standard runs. And I mean, it did for me. I was like, I'm just when I thought I quit that addiction, they're like, ooh, new strain, come on. So yeah, this one I think this has been it's so fun. It's fun. It's gonna be Uma. Yeah.
So best debut indie game is a weird one now because Megabonk was nominated for this category, but the developer of that game said it's not my first game. It's not my first developed game, so I'm pulling myself out. Thanks for everything. Blah blah blah. Mm-hmm. We'll talk about that on the main show a little bit more, but he pulled out, so now there's only 4 nominees. It's Blueprints, Claire Obscure, Expedition 33, Despelote, and Dispatch. I think Dispatch is only nominated here. I think, which is
this is the only nomination for Dispatch,
which is wild. But
yeah,
and this is also a stack category. Despelote is on my list to play. I hope I can get to it soon. But man, it's gonna be hard to beat Expedition 33. Blueprints is what I'm playing next. After I finish Dispatch, I'm playing Blueprints.
I for me, my vote when I went for Dispatch on this one, and again, it's because it's not nominated and stuff, and we'll get into Game of the Year. I guess this may spoil my Game of the Year pick, but I voted for Claire Obscure in plenty of other categories, and just like it did have help with its publishing, so it's not like pure indie. Like
it's not a pure indie. It had extra help. It wasn't just the small team working on the game that actually works at Sandfall. That those discussions are always off because people don't understand the scope of things. But yeah, I'd probably vote for Dispatch here too. I'm not done with it yet, but I'm loving Dispatch.
But it's probably gonna be Claire Obscure. And then best independent.
Okay, then this one's another controversial pick because of kind of what we talked about. I'll bring it up here actually because I have the main quote here that I was going to talk about. So this is pulled from Austin Manchester at Polygon. We're talking about Polygon a lot here, which I don't like because Valnet, but also I like a lot of the writers there. So yes, Sandfall Interactive, the developer behind Expedition 33, is an independent studio, which might be enough to signify its standout debut as an indie game. On the other hand, Sandfall partnered with Kepler Interactive to publish the game, and through that partnership was able to drum up a budget that allowed it to cast Hollywood stars Charlie Cox as Gustav and Andy Serkis as Renor, and place it in a major publisher showcase. I don't think Daredevil could get cast in an obvious indie like Consume Me. So just to note that, it does feel like Claire Obscure is a little out of place when you look at Absalom, Ball X Pit, Blueprints. But then again, Hades 2 and Hollow Knight Silksong are sequels to major successful things. So yes, they are still independently developed. So
and Team Cherry is like a tiny team.
Yeah,
like the southern coast of Australia.
We're bordering some of these conversations. Like the word indie means is doing some weird heavy lifting here in like what independent actually means. We'll see. I don't know what's gonna win this. I'm very sad. I don't think Blueprints is gonna win anything, even though I know it's a great game and I'm very excited to play it. I think Claire Obscure is this could just end up being a Claire Obscure sweep in terms of stuff because this is it's just such a discussion point. But there's really 3 ways this could go, and I wouldn't be surprised if it goes any of those 3 ways.
I'm sad Dispatch didn't make this category either, but
it's just it's a whole lot. I wonder what the skew on like some Dispatch stuff went. Probably very mixed because some people, because I don't know when I haven't looked at when the cutoffs were, but Was the final episode of Dispatch out? They probably timed it well enough to be there for the end of nominations, but that'd be an interesting thing to look up or ask.
I mean, the fact that it's nominated for other stuff makes me feel
It's only
like
nominated for one thing though, and that's just
yeah,
best like first
best debut indie,
showing.
yeah.
So you can do that with just the first 2 episodes.
The only other thing where I think like they really should have been in there, like this is also like, I mean, this should have been in there. You know what this game should have been is strategy sim game, because that's like the main actual gameplay apart from like
but again,
dialogue and
those categories are just so tightly contested in terms of like what does that mean?
Yeah, like Civ 7, obviously that's a strategy game. Like,
yeah, there's
it's turn-based,
so much gray area and
game.
crossover that they need to split it and more clearly define them. But that's a whole other story. Let's get into some of these other smaller ones. Best community support: Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, Helldivers 2, No Man's Sky. Community support, I'd probably
this just feels like whoever has the biggest like fan base.
No. I think that is next one. Best ongoing is the one that's the biggest.
Yeah.
So we'll kind of lump these discussions together because best ongoing is Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, Helldivers 2, No Man's Sky, and then Marvel Rivals replaces.
Yeah. I think it'll go to either. I think for this one it'll either be Baldur's Gate 3 or No Man's Sky, because the other games are more like described as games as a service, and so ongoing content is like the point of them, and so like the support from the developer and patch notes and things like patches and social media activity, like that's expected. Whereas like Baldur's Gate 3 came out like what 2-3 years ago now, and they're still adding stuff to it. Like it's a purely single player game. And No Man's Sky, obviously that's just like the
I think it's gonna be Baldur's Gate 3 or Final Fantasy 14, because Final Fantasy 14, even though it's in kind of a weird space in terms of its updates, because I don't think it's winning best ongoing this year. I do think they've done some stuff around like supporting the community and like making sure people aren't being like harassed and stuff.
Right.
That kind of stuff. From what I remember, I don't play any of these games other than a little bit of Fortnite and a little bit of Helldivers every once in a while. So we'll see. And then best ongoing game. I'm so very surprised Marvel Rivals did not get was not in the multiplayer category. No,
that is also I think because Marvel Rivals did not release this year as a new game.
Did it release before the Game Awards last year?
Yeah, Marvel Rivals came out, I believe, last year.
Because December last year. It was in December. I know, but I don't know.
Because they just start the what's it called? December 6th.
So it was right on the cutoff. Yeah.
Yeah. So it must. So did it make the? Was it nominated last year?
When did Indiana Jones launch?
Indiana
Jones came out. What is
it? Great Circle. 2020, December 9th, 2 days later.
Yeah, so if you're in that like December, I think the cutoff for it was cut off for nominations already. We're getting cashed up on this. It doesn't matter. So regardless, I think
what was last year's Game Awards? What was the date?
It was like the 6th.
No,
it was like the 6th.
I think so. Because what else was in multiplayer that like
it was all the games you would expect. Arc Raiders, Battlefield. We don't need
Battlefield 6, Night Rain, Arc Raiders. Yeah, I guess
it doesn't.
I guess maybe because it's hard to. Yeah, but
I think it's I'm
voting for it just because because like it's the only it's the only game. It's the only nominee. Fortnite. I don't know if people.
It's going to be Marvel Rivals or Fortnite. I hope it's Marvel Rivals.
Yeah, I honestly think because like it's so many like games media, like obviously like, the panelists are such a huge influence on the voting because they like the panelists make 9% of the vote. I wonder if all this Simpsons content is like appealing to the millennials who work in games media, and they're gonna be like, I'm gonna give it to Fortnite because I can play as Homer.
It might. I don't know.
I think Fortnite could take it, but I obviously hope it's Marvel Rivals. Obviously, you and I play.
We play with a lot of Marvel
multiple times a week.
Yeah. Games for Impact is a little weird. I know Konsumi's been like a really good talking point. I've heard a bunch of people talk about it. It's another one I want to check out. Despalote obviously is on my list too. I've heard great things about that. Lost Records Bloom and Rage, I've heard mixed things about as a game, but I know people still enjoyed the story. South of Midnight, obviously, and then Wanderstop, Wanderstop has been on my list. I forgot it came out this year, and I put it back on. I forgot to add it to my list. So I don't know what's going to win here. It's probably going to be either Consumi or Despalote, but I think all these games are dope. So I'm very excited to try some of them. Then innovation and accessibility, another one that's just kind of like, if you played it and looked at some of the settings, you can kind of get a vibe for it.
You can go to this category in the Game Awards. You can actually read about what they do.
Yes.
Specifically. So like just an example, Assassin's Creed Shadows. Let's see.
It did a lot.
Franchise first, like audio described cinematics, powerful remapping, allowing a choice of hold press, double press for each action. Greatly upgraded subtitles with better color modifications, speaker directions. So just I think so. I voted for Assassin's Creed Shadows just because like it's not gonna like it's the only thing it's nominated was, and I really enjoyed it, and I feel like it was kind of underrated. That's a EA Sports FC 26 being here is very fun.
That's very funny. Yeah, the nominees this year are Assassin's Creed Shadows, Adam Fall, Doom the Dark Ages, EA Sports FC 26, and then South of Midnight. I would assume Assassin's Creed probably wins this one, but who knows?
Yeah.
Oh my god, best performance is gonna be best performance. Ben Starr, Expedition 33, Charlie Cox, Expedition 33, then Erika Ishii, Ghost of Yotei, Jennifer English, Expedition 33, Konatsu Kato, Silent Hill F, and then Troy Baker, Indiana Jones: The Great Circle. Troy should win this. I think this. I think Troy. I love Ben and Charlie and even Jennifer. I love the performances in Expedition 33. I'm pretty sure one of those three is going to win. Like it's a 50% chance.
I know the point you're going to make, and I actually do think I agree with you.
I just think that for what he was asked to do specifically, and how well he did it,
you're convincing me.
Troy Baker blew me away as a character that I have known for my entire life and been very like I've watched Indiana Jones everything, played Indiana Jones everything. My dad, my brother, my grandpa we're all in Indiana Jones. So like the fact that he could step into those shoes and do such a good job that it was almost seamless in terms of me not just immediately buying into him as the character with no hesitation for the entire ride. Like there was not a moment in that game where I was like, that was a little off. That didn't sound like Indy.
Wow. Yeah. I think it's a good point. I think it's going to go to Charlie Cox because the bigger name recognition and because people loved Gustav so much.
I think everybody here is deserving. I haven't played Silent Hill F or Ghost of Yotei yet. I don't know when I'm going to get to Yotei. I'm not a huge Silent Hill guy, but I've heard the performances in both of those. Fantastic. It's going to go to one of the Expedition 33, probably Charlie Cox.
I heard a great story from Erika Ishii saying that she wanted to do like the bath scene like they have in the first one, and that they're really nervous when they're like, oh, we did this. They were showing it to her for the first time. They're like nervous, didn't want to like offend her, or like they want to. And so when she saw like herself in the bath for the first time, she's like, can you make my butt bigger? Just like, and I was like, that's so real.
Yeah, that category stacked. That's another one where it's like if Dispatch came out earlier, I think a Dispatch character might have gotten in there too.
Yeah.
But that's just such a stacked category. Everybody deserves to be there. I personally am probably going to vote for Troy, but I think it's going to be an Expedition 33 winner there.
Yeah. I think that's accurate.
Best audio design. Now we're getting to like the big hitter categories that are like the ones that actually matter for a lot of people. Best audio design: Battlefield 6, Claire Obscura, Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2 on the Beach, Ghost of Yotei, Silent Hill F. Again, wildly stacked category here. I don't know what I would vote for here. I haven't played 4 out of the 5 here, so like I'm only qualified to vote for Claire Obscura, but I know Death Stranding has a wild audio design. And I guarantee Silent Hill F has great audio design just because it's a horror game. You have to. That's part of the entire experience is the audio. Battlefield 6 being here is obvious just because it's the shooter.
Yeah, but obvious, but also like
it deserves
really
it.
Nothing
it's
like special. There's nothing like special about
exactly.
it.
So it's not. This is the one where I don't think Expedition 33 is going to win, even though I think it's very deserving of it. I just don't know what else is going to win here.
Yeah.
Best score in music. This one is nuts.
We know who's winning this one.
Yeah. So Christopher Larkin, Hollow Knight Silksong, Darren Korb, Hades 2, Lorien Testard, Claire Obscura, Expedition 33, Toma Toho, Ghost of Yotei, and then Woodkid and Ludwig Vorsell, Death Stranding 2 on the Beach. I want to shout out Ghost of Yotei for having the lo-fi mode. that is a wild and amazing call, and a big reason why I want to play that game more than a lot of stuff on my list.
It's really cool.
That's sick, and I like it's the same thing with whatchamacallit mode. I can't remember the black and white Shirakawa mode. I can't remember what I can't the old style movies.
The old samurai film,
Yeah.
like black and white samurai.
I can't.
Film
The name is
mode.
just escaping me.
Noir mode or something
yeah,
like that.
It was named for the director that did a bunch of those.
Director
movies.
who, yeah.
I played that game in that mode. I played it in Japanese purely because the voice actor for Zoro from One Piece is the voice actor for Jin in Japanese. So it was a great experience, and I'm excited to go through that. But yeah, it's gonna be Clair Obscur. It's gonna be
Clair Obscur, and it does deserve it.
It does deserve it. All these games are great. It's just
the music is beautiful. The little plot elements that turn out to be they're actually there's actually cool plot reveals in the songs, but they're in French, so if you don't recognize it at the time, and it's it ties back in. And during some of the boss fights, it's beautiful and sad and heavy and just incredible. It's gotta be this, and it's gonna be this.
Yep. Best art direction, Clair Obscur Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2 on the Beach, Ghost of Yote, Hades 2, Hollow Knight Silksong. I think Silksong might win this one.
Potentially.
I think Silksong has the best chance to knock out Clair Obscur. On this,
it has the best chance, but I still think it's going Clair Obscur.
I'm gonna vote Silksong here just because I love Team Cherry's aesthetic and how they do things.
Mm-hmm.
But all these games are freaking gorgeous. The only one I don't like, Ghost of Yote. You can say the same thing about Death Stranding 2 because it looks very similar in concept to the first one.
Sure.
But so technical achievement, artistic design, the choices matter more than the base, I guess, in those. But I mean, yeah, all these games are great. I'm voting for Silksong. Clair Obscur has a good chance of winning that one too. Best narrative, Clair Obscur Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2 on the Beach, Ghost of Yote, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Silent Hill F. It's gonna be between Clair Obscur and Death Stranding, and it's gonna be Clair Obscur.
It's gonna be Clair Obscur. I don't even think it's really between Clair Obscur and Death Stranding, but just such a it's not even just because people talk about M. Night Shyamalan films where it's the quality of the twist is what makes the story. And not only is the quality of the there's several incredibly high quality twists or swerves in the story, but just everything that builds up into it, all the little tiny stories around it, all the world building that they do, it's winning all these awards for good reason. And the narrative, and for narrative, it just feels that's a lock for them.
Yep. Then we've got Best Game Direction, Clair Obscur Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2 on the Beach, Ghost of Yote, Hades 2, and Split Fiction. This one is going to be tighter than the last few. I am not 100% sure what will win here. Game direction is a lot different than just visuals and kind of placement and things. Obviously, it's innovation, game direction, and design. Death Stranding might take this one, because it's so weird and so creative in how it does things, and the choices that Kojima and his team make in terms of bringing the visions to life. Because as much as Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is this big departure from a lot of things and its own thing and doing a lot of innovative stuff for what it is, it's still a turn-based RPG. It still sits in this box of it's on the outside of this box of what a turn-based RPG is, because it does a lot of stuff differently, brings in a lot of elements of their own, and then also from other games and inspirations. Death Stranding 2 is just unlike basically anything else ever in terms of what it is. So that's what I think has the best chance of usurping this, even though Split Fiction, obviously, Hades 2, Ghost of Yote, all deserving too.
Yeah, they're all, yeah.
And then finally, we've got Game of the Year, which is Clair Obscur Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2 on the Beach, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Hades 2, Hollow Knight Silksong, and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I don't think we even need to talk about this because we know what's winning.
Donkey Kong Bonanza.
So here's the deal. So we're not going to get too much into this, but the concept of there is a slippery slope here of it wasn't a big talking point for a lot of people. It's not being brought up a lot, but there was the claims and everything that Clair Obscure used the AI placeholders in some of their development, for like specifically for art assets, which is being called out for like a lot of other games, and then like obviously Arc Raiders and some stuff is being called out for that kind of stuff too. So there is a slippery slope here of that. I think the overall product and like the conversations around the game and what has been said post that have made it, not made up for it, have kind of cleared that slate a little bit from a controversial standpoint or whatever. So I don't feel bad about voting for Clair Obscure Expedition 33 because I don't think that it's going to lead to the widespread adoption slash, oh, it's okay to do this even more than it already is going to be because these big companies don't care about using AI art instead of hiring good artists. But so if I was more, if it was more egregious,
there's one company or developer I want to do that if they have to. It's smaller companies that don't have the manpower or the resources.
I don't, even to that point, I don't even want to say that, because if we say that, then that's going to open the floodgates or open Pandora's box of everything to do with, like, it's just such a, and we'll talk about that in the main show too, where we talk about Shroud basically becoming like an unintentional mouthpiece for AI in games because of Arc Raiders and like the way he's phrasing some stuff. It just feels like we have to take a stand, but where does the stand start, and how where is the where is the line that we have to draw between this game is such a great piece of art in every faction, and there was the one like minuscule element that I couldn't even find like a report. I didn't do like super deep digging. I don't remember reading some stuff, but like how sure we with it was, how sure he was, like all this stuff. I still think Clair Obscure is deserving and is going to win. I think all these games are fantastic. The only one I have basically nothing about is Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, but I've heard nothing but good things there.
Right.
I don't think there's a chance that any of these other, like the game that has the best chance of beating Clair Obscure here is Hades 2. I don't think it's going to. And that's really all I have to say here. I do want to get into some like thoughts here about like, do you think anything, not necessarily snubbed, because obviously all 6 of these games are like well deserving to be here, but like what game are you like, do you think Split Fiction got snubbed here, quote unquote snubbed, in terms of not being recognized here? Obviously we talked a little bit about the shortcomings there. I've got like a list of like some stuff that some people like. The big one, people are like, Blueprints had a lot of early hype, but it released really early, just like Split Fiction. That one, a lot of people felt like maybe got snubbed a little bit there.
I feel like for this one you can expand. You should be able to expand Game of the Year to 8. I feel like you should be allowed to do more than 6. I think Blueprints snubbed to a degree.
I think Blueprints is the biggest snub. I think.
Would you say is Yote a snub?
We could, but not to the extent of Blueprints in terms of like critical reception. Blueprints got snubbed because it was too small, because there not enough people played it. Probably, it just got overshadowed by a lot of stuff. Just didn't make that cut. Didn't make like there's the 3 indie games on this list this year, and Blueprints was just the 4th one out. It's because Yote's in the Split Fiction camp, but not even to that. Like Split Fiction's way more critically acclaimed. Like Yote's like a level below Split Fiction in terms of that. I think similar to like Indiana Jones. Yote and Indiana Jones are kind of in that camp where it's like, you could have. I wouldn't blame you if you did, but probably not worth it. I mean, the biggest snub that I think here actually is, at least that I can talk to, is Mario Kart in the audio design / score section, just because they have like all the old music rescored and all the new music scored. Like that with live orchestra, that was incredible. Like that's my favorite part of that game is the music. I listen to it all the time. But I don't think you can really say that anything got snubbed here overall. I do think Clair Obscure is walking away with this. I don't think they're going to win every award, but they're nominated for like a record 10, I think, this year, and they're going to walk away with like 6. Record.
Yeah, at least.
So
yeah, I think it's deserved. I think it's earned. And I think everyone that's in. I would say if I had to like change the Game of the Year, like in terms of who's nominated, maybe I'd take out Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. But like it's just, I mean, And not even that. I would just expand the category rather than take people out. I would say you put Split Fiction in there and you put Blueprints in there. Yote on the outside.
Yote and the Indiana Jones are just on the outside looking in.
Don't get me wrong. Looking forward to playing Yote as soon as that PS5 gets in.
Yeah.
And then a lot. There's so many games on this list that like I just haven't had the time to touch yet. Just because like beginning of the year I was looking for work and then getting acclimated to a new job and then
both of us have been in like a very weird
season.
spot. Yeah. For playing.
Yeah, it's been a weird spot in terms of like getting to play games, but I was able to play Claire Obscure, Avowed, Donkey Kong Bonanza. Able to fit more in honestly this year than I have in previous years, just because when it's when we were on the chain to dot and on the SEO grind, just feel like I didn't have time to play games.
Yeah, we had to play like 3 games and they were all for work. So
yeah.
I will say
my game of the year last year was Gray Zone Warfare.
Oh boy, I don't even know.
No,
that's something we should do for like. I know we're not doing like a Game Awards watch along. We'll talk about it on the pod after that, but we should definitely do a like 2015 to 2025 like our games of the year every year kind of discussion. Like maybe get a couple other friends on to have a discussion of like.
I love what Giant Bomb just did. They did their best games of the decade so far. So I think from 2020 onward.
That'd be fun. We could do that too. Like, something like that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fun stuff we can do. We're not going to go through the entire Golden Joystick stuff. We're already running a little long in terms of what we wanted to do. But I quickly want to highlight Jennifer English won Best Lead Performer at the Golden Joysticks. Golden Joysticks, by the way, similar voting structure or like nomination structure to the Game Awards, but entirely closed ecosystem in terms of their voting. It's voted on by their editors and also like a panel of undisclosed journalists. So a little bit more of a closed ecosystem, but just kind of a long-running award show that's very well regarded. Just highlighting this stuff. Blueprints actually won Best Indie Game at this. So
and I'm glad they highlighted Skin Deep in there. That was at least nominated because it seems like they made a point to nominate and like draw attention to more indie games.
Yes,
so they made their
I do wish we had more time to go through all of this because the award nominations for a lot of these kind of smaller shows that aren't going to get the highlights that the Game Awards do, definitely go deeper into the nominations and a lot of the stuff. But I just wanted to mainly highlight where Claire Obscure was winning here because they won Best Soundtrack, won Best Storytelling. Ben Starr did win Best Supporting Performer. Best Visual Design was Claire Obscure. Donkey Kong Bonanza actually won Critics' Choice, which is interesting.
Sandfall itself won Studio of the Year.
Yeah, Sandfall won Studio of the Year, and then Claire Obscure Expedition 33 was their Game of the Year. So, again, probably nominated for 10 things here too, won 6 or 7 of them, including some categories that aren't at the Game Awards. So I'd say probably 6 of the 10 would probably be a reasonable guess on what Claire Obscure is walking away with, and they're probably going to win Game of the Year. So
the thing that most surprised me looking at just browsing through Golden Joysticks, console Game of the Year, Ghost of Yote over Donkey Kong Bonanza. I thought that would have been a Donkey Kong Bonanza.
One more thing I wanted to highlight is
you know what? That is what I forgot was missing from Best Adaptation from the Game Awards. Arcane Season 2.
Did that come out? That came out in November last year. So it was last year.
Okay.
They was there last year.
Oh, okay.
If I remember correctly, yeah. Another thing that I wanted to highlight that I forgot to mention here is what potentially might be my Game of the Year. Sword of the Sea didn't get nominated at all.
Wow.
Which is pretty wild considering that the pedigree of like that like team that makes like Abzu's and like the former Journey developers and stuff. Like I love Sword of the Sea. It's so good. I don't know if it's up there with Abzu in terms of like my all-time favorites, but it is such an incredible like weird game. So love that. It's also really critically pretty high up there, so weird that it didn't get any nods. So a little odd, but I think that's gonna do us for our Game Awards discussion. Thank you guys for listening. Hopefully we get some cool like we didn't talk anything about like what we want to get revealed or anything. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about that on the right before the Game Awards episode of the show, but I don't really like predicting announcements that heavily, except for like maybe a couple big ones. So the only one I'm pretty sure we're going to see is Final Fantasy. So we'll see where that goes. But yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you guys can get your votes in, and I hope you enjoy your Game of the Year games.